You're listening to the Three Pillars of Success, a podcast that inspires people of all walks of life to gain perspective on what it means to succeed. My name is Geraldine Convento, and I'm best known for entrepreneurship, my skills in web presence, and SEO. Thanks for listening. Enjoy the show. Hey y'all, how you doing? It's me, Geraldine, the entrepreneur guide, web and SEO expert, and today we're here with another episode of the Three Pillars of Success podcast with really great guest, Donny Mangos, all the way from Canada. What's up?
Hello, Geraldine. Greetings from the Great White North.
Well, I know we already said who you are and where you're from, but would you like to share specifically where in Canada you're from and also where a living?
Canada's a big place for sure. I'll have you know, it's actually larger than the USA geographically, in terms
Really?
of landmass. It is. There you go. So I'm in Toronto, which is the biggest city of the country, and I am a real estate professional in the city of Toronto. I have a few different roles, but the two main ones are I'm the team leader for a brokerage in downtown Toronto for Keller Williams, and I'm also the team leader for my own team, and we are primarily an investor-focused real estate team. So we help people get in and out of investment purchases.
So when you're not working, what do you do for fun?
That's a good question. Wait, what does not working look like? Can you tell me?
Hopefully you have moments like that.
I love to travel. I think a lot of us Canadians do. We like to escape, especially in the wintertime. So I'm big on traveling. Wife, I'm Greek descent. She's Italian descent. And of course, we love going back to Greece and Italy when we can and just showcasing those spaces to our kids. I'm a girl dad. I am father. They're amazing and they are my life for sure. I am a sports junkie, which sucks, takes away so much of my time. But Raptors fan, season seat holder, go Raptors, former champions. You've actually beat the Golden State Warriors. I don't know if you remember this, Geraldine, in 2019. So sorry about that, but yeah, that happened. And I'm active. I'm into tech. I'm into people, pretty social. So I do like to get out there and just learn from people, learn experiences, and share my own in return. I love people.
What does success mean to you?
I often tackle that in my own mind just so I can get a clear understanding because it's hard to, like, it's this never ending goal. We all strive for it, which is kind of odd, but I have probably a simple definition. To me, it's about balance. I know you're about three pillars, but primarily for me, it's about balance. It's about having enough so you're balanced. Go to work, if we're talking about success, financial success or career success, oftentimes it's attributed to a goal, like financial goal. And when we have that, we're successful. Kind of how we've traditionally thought of success. I don't think that. I feel more like that is the first part of becoming successful. Achieving your financial goals, like making enough money in your career and your job, gets you to a point where you can start using that to balance off what it means for you personally and in your life. So for me, it's about balance. Like, I don't need to work 60 hours a week and make that much money just so I feel like I'm complete. No, I feel much more complete if I put in 25 hours a week, did what I needed to do for my business, and then spent the rest of my time with my kids or just like out and about and just being around friends or seeing the world. So for me, balance plays a huge role in determining what success means. I also put a lot of, like, as I'm getting older, because I don't know if you can know, but I'm in my mid 40s here and I'm mortal. I recognize that. And getting older, I'm starting to see a lot of things that are health related to a lot of my friends and my peers. And I'm starting to put a lot of my emphasis on feeling good health wise, because if that's not right, nothing is right. Forget balance, what I just talked about, because if I'm not feeling good, what balance is there? So health to me is a big part. And none of that comes from money. That just comes from taking care of yourself. And we're talking about a third pillar. I can't think of a better word. I don't like this word in this context, but freedom, more like independence. I'm not attached or chained. No one's got control over my decisions. If you are in the enviable position of finding yourself in a spot where you can make your own decisions at all times, you're not worried about how is this going to impact me money-wise, time-wise, my job, whatever. That freedom comes with so much clear-mindedness. You don't have to look behind your shoulder. You don't have to worry about if I say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing, is someone going to pull the rug out from underneath me? That doesn't matter because you're in control of your of your own self. So freedom is a big part. And I guess that's probably why I'm an entrepreneur. And Geraldine, it's probably why you're an entrepreneur as well.
Absolutely. I totally align with what you're saying. Balance, if I look at balance, I kind of think of it in the context that you're bringing it up. I kind of look at that as the umbrella to the other two that you said, because what does balance mean? Balance means having the ability to do things that are also outside of your work. It doesn't mean that work isn't your passion, but it means you have the flexibility to be able to work 25 hours versus working a 40 to 60-hour week. And in fact, be able to have even more productive output, even more passionate output in that 25 hours versus that 60 hours. I love what you said about health, because if you don't have health, then it's very difficult to have the experience of balance because you're managing something that's really distracting from your work. And in terms of the financial piece and having the agency to make your own decisions and control your own life, money has a direct correlation with that too. The more financial resources you have, the more you can control your environment. And that's something I read from Gary Zukov in The Seed of the Soul, which I hold true to my heart. And I think that all of these things need to be thought of in perspective to all of our lives, because it's what creates a really great life. Some people have resistance toward money and put certain attachments to it like greed, but let's be real here. We live in a society that really you need money to be
Yeah,
able,
it's a requirement for
yeah,
sure.
it's a requirement for you to be able to survive and to thrive too.
Yep. And like, so the money is a tool. The money is not the goal. Money is the tool to achieve the goal of independence. So I'm big on creating, I mentioned that I'm investment focused realtor, and that's where I come from. That's my mind. That's how it works. It's because of what that could do to generate just passive income. So I don't have to always be the one who's giving up my time in exchange for the results that are going to come, like the finances. If I can figure out ways, this is what I do, is help people figure out ways to leverage their money to make more money, or leverage their time to better use it so that you could earn while you're out enjoying your life. Because I mean, we're all going to expire at some point, and it's going to suck if, like, if I end up like my dad, who worked really hard for a long time in his life, and when he's finally off, I mean, his health starts to fade. That's not cool. I don't want to do the same thing. I don't want to achieve the same mistakes. So that's why I'm saying, like, to me, it's about that whole balance thing and that whole figuring out how to make finances work for me so that I can go out and do what I want to do. If I want to Netflix and chill sometimes, Geraldine, I want to Netflix and chill sometimes. And be nice to have the not to worry about, oh, I'm not making money right now, or I'm not out at work right now. That's okay. That whole balance.
Is there a particular roadblock you'd like to share that you've had to overcome in your path to successes in your life?
I have always probably taken on more than I should. I don't know that there's an answer to that. It's just me. If I time block things and if I schedule stuff, only the important things are dealt with, like the big rocks mentality, top 20%, that kind of stuff is really what should take my attention, because those are going to give me the best results, the best bang for my buck. If I'm talking about efficiencies, which I basically am talking about, how finding ways to create efficiencies in your life. If I could figure something out that would really propel me forward, it would be just be, how do I be even more efficient? How do I just stay focused on the things that are the most important, that are going to get me the best results, and stop the shiny object syndrome that this internet thing seems to want to jam down my throat. If you can figure that out for me, Geraldine, I'm yours. You got this.
I can definitely relate to that too, which is why I keep on adding new businesses, new business partners, new teammates. It's fun.
It is, and that's the problem, right? Like, it's not all of it's fruitful financially, but it's fun. So we all kind of justify it because it gives us gratitude or appreciation in a different aspect. And yeah, so you like being around people, clearly. Like, I met you because you showed up in the most random of all places, and you just were there to meet people. How crazy is that? Like, time zones away, Geraldine, but that's who you are. That's who I am. I get it, right? And that doesn't really help business, but it helps us personally, professionally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it can help business several years down the line. One of the things I like to share with folks that's so critical about being a business owner and networking, I know networking can be very uncomfortable for some people, but I've got some of the biggest deals from people I met 5 or 10 years ago. And I had no clue that that was going to be the result of that. But there's something really meaningful about building interpersonal relationships with people who are your business colleagues.
And it didn't stop there though. I mean, I'm sure you followed up. Like there's a lot of business sense that went in behind after that introduction, after that meetup,
Oh, yeah.
and
Thank you
then
card for
all
sure.
that stuff. Of course, right? Like that stuff goes a long way.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to go even further now that we've been so virtual for so long. That kind of stuff's going to stand out a bit, even more.
There's a lot of people who listen to this podcast because they would like to hear other people's perspective on success, or maybe they're looking to achieve success themselves. So, is there any advice that you would like to give to them in their path to achieving success?
Take chances. The worst thing we can live with is regret, in my opinion. Like when you sit there and you dwell and you wonder what if you start thinking, you open Pandora's box, start thinking about your own, like how far could you have reached? If you think that and you didn't attempt, it's always going to make you feel terrible about yourself. So take a chance. What are you going to lose? What are you really going to lose? A little bit of time, a little bit of money? You'll lose a lot more dignity if you don't give yourself the chance to succeed. Like you want to realize potential? Actually try hitting your potential. Empty the tank, go for it. You're only a failure if you quit, is how I look at it.
Yeah, you heard it here on the 3 pillars of success from Donny Mangos. Don't quit. Just keep going. You gotta try. I agree with
Get
that.
it.
Thank you so much for being on the show. And for those of you listening, remember that the way that the inspiration of success and striving for that gets out is by sharing this podcast, reviewing this podcast, also leaving a comment so other people understand how great it is. I appreciate you for listening, and we will catch you on the next episode. Bye, everyone.